Good morning, everyone. This is Ryan Edner with your Wednesday, December 19th morning market commentary. The first thing everybody will be looking for today is any 8 a.m. sales announcements from China. We did get word yesterday that there was some Chinese purchasing, so we'll see what shows up at 8 a.m. But we'll start the conversation off in corn as we usually do. Yesterday we did find some moderate fund buying. After a few days of not seeing the funds in this market, it was good to see them back. However, that fund buying ran into very active cash selling once again. The very strong resistance in the March corn, anywhere above 385, is still being seen. In fact, the resistance is strong enough that the recent corn range has shrunk even more. In the last week, we've seen anywhere from a low at 382 3/4 to a high at 387 3/4. Again, trading just a 5-cent range. This market is getting even tighter than it has been. Of course, some of that also is attributed to a lower volume trade as we get closer to the holidays. Yesterday, crude fell under $47. That would put a little bit of concern going forward on ethanol reports. There's probably little doubt that trade's expecting today's ethanol report to be disappointing. Now seeing that crude fall below $47, that would actually hint that we should expect the next couple ethanol reports to be disappointing. Now the bright side of corn is that tomorrow's exports do have the potential to be strong enough to more than make up for the disappointing ethanol report, so total weekly demand can still come out all right and continue our sideways trend. But as always, we'll want to watch these two demand reports like we do every week. Moving over to beans, where most of the excitement will be this morning, as previously mentioned. There was talk yesterday that China did buy some more beans, so we'll see what we get on the 8 a.m. sales report. To put things into perspective, so far we've had an official announcement of about 1.9 million metric tons. Trade was expecting over these last couple weeks to see 5 million metric tons. So we'll see what we get at 8 a.m. and we'll see how much closer we can get that 1.9 current number towards that 5 million metric ton expectations. Just as another side note for the beans, the March contract is likely to move over to the lead traded contract as of today. So any future trades might be best to be put into that March contract instead of January now. Now moving over to wheat, we still have a 4-week uptrend intact. There was an overnight setback, but not enough to damage that uptrend. Most eyes would continue to be looking towards Russia. There's going to be a meeting with Russia on Friday. Right now what trade's expecting to hear is that they'll make at least some mention of an export slowdown. Obviously, if they're slowing down, that opens up our potential for even more exports, which have been strong in the last 3 weeks. But again, this would put out a farther outlook of maybe another 3, 4, 5 weeks of continued stronger sales for U.S. wheat, and that can keep the slow uptrend going. Over in cattle, we get a cattle on feed report tomorrow. It was changed to tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Right now, the estimates have placements at 93.8%. Obviously, that's a bullish outlook there, so we saw the futures react when those estimates came out yesterday. We'll mention for our own reference here that here at Allendale we had estimated a very similar number to the rest of the analysts, around that 93–94%. But recent sale barn data in the last 2 weeks has caused us to shift our estimate quite a bit higher there, actually closer to 100%. I believe currently Rich is using a 100.9% estimate as his personal estimate. So we'll see what we get for that cattle on feed report. Cold storage will remain on Friday here. So while the cattle on feed has been moved up, cold storage is still at its regular time. Over in the cash news for cattle, we had a 118 trade in Iowa. That'd be $1 lower than last week. Obviously, trade will pay a little bit more attention to anything seen in Kansas, Texas, or Nebraska, but that's what we have for an early trade yesterday, is a 118 in Iowa. And as we always do, we'll wait and see what bids, offers, or trades come out of the major areas to suggest where we go with the cash from here. On yesterday's bounce, it should be mentioned that futures in cattle look to be pricing in more along the lines of a 120 trade. So that's what we're looking at here today. We'll see what we get at 8 a.m. If you have any questions, give us a call, 800-551-4626, or visit us on the web, allendale-inc.com.